podcast, and I'm your host, Empress Crissy. Today we have a fun show for our episode 3. I have some special friends that's going to come aboard and help us today review some clips from social media. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to react to some social media. And first I have up, and this is Miss Marcelina. Marcelina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
My favorite psychic medium, Miss Jazz, the medium. Show, Miss Jasmine. We're going to hop right in and we're going to review some hot takes.
I'm not faking happiness for anybody. If I'm not currently living the life that I choose to hide behind a photo filter in an attempt to create a... I fake like you're happy when happiness can be a reality. Why pose online in a picture and pretend that the partnership is good when they're going to be successful? Flashing homes, cars, and trips to Dubai doesn't necessarily mean that you're successful. It could mean that you're totally irresponsible and living off credit, but we want somebody to give us credit, so we would rather present a lie than live a life of actual joy and tranquility. You don't have to fake it until you make it. You gotta work until you make it. True happiness is absolutely a possibility, but it's our own responsibility to put in the work to ensure that we come to that place of consciousness. If you keep God first and remain consistent in your faith, words, and practices, you can bring about a true life of fulfillment. But if you keep trying to hide behind the photo filter, you'll find out that fake happiness is gone.
Okay, what you think about that, Morse?
I don't see anything wrong with what he said. I totally agree. Like, I'm not a fan of the filters. What you see is what you get, and everything he said to me was pretty much on point. Like, you know, there's a lot of people posing on social media, relationship-wise, life-wise, and at the end of the day, when you go home, you know, live your life like it is. You know, we live in the reality. Be real. All the fake stuff I can't deal with. So I have not an ounce or issue with anything that he said.
Jazz, what's your take?
So I'm going to agree with him. And it's weird because I had a conversation with a good friend of mine the other day, and she was saying, like, what destroys relationships, or why is it so hard for people to get in relationships these days? And one of the subjects I brought up was social media, because you see these fake relationships where these people are coming together and faking it like they're happy and putting on these, you know, these fronts like everything is perfect, and they have this bliss when that's not the reality of the situation. So what happens is that you compare your relationship to these fake relationships on social media, and you want your relationship to be like that when that's not reality of what relationships are. So I believe that happiness is an inside job, and if you truly want happiness, you got to find happiness within yourself. You know, I feel like too many people, they depend on other people to provide them happiness, and that's why they're never satisfied. It's because you're looking outside of yourself for satisfaction. But if you're truly happy and someone comes along to add to your happiness, that's just all more the better. But happiness should be your own responsibility, and that's how I feel about that.
And I want to add to people post and on there, oh, I'm here. They're the most miserable, because when you're in a relationship that's healthy and happy, you don't have time to be on there like that. You really don't even have time to be on social media. So I feel like that's a red flag to me anyway. When I see people on there doing too much bragging, it's okay. Your anniversary, their birthday, that's great. But I agree with what he was talking about. We have to input to be whole for our relationships. And unfortunately, social media has like pulling us apart. It's like we got to put the phone down, Instagram down, and become back like the old days. So talking and getting together with your people, you know. So I like that clip when he's speaking about very, very, very factual.
When you lose an emotional attachment to someone, you realize how ordinary they were. It was your love and your energy made them seem so special.
That was short and sweet. What you got, Jasmine?
Okay, so attachments. Attachments is something that I've been working on mastering. And, you know, I think I've come a very long way. I all the way agree with this video because I don't believe that your love or whatever, for some reason, I don't think that, I feel like forming an emotional attachment with somebody like that to a certain extent, to me, I don't think it's healthy at all. I believe that we put on people tend to be unhealthy connections. So I think that I don't necessarily believe that it's about love. To me, I just believe for some people, it's a traumatic response to emotionally attach to people and things and places because you don't want to have self-issues. So it's a little bit, really agree with that video.
I can't say I fully agree with it either. And why? I think that if they were just ordinary, you wouldn't have been attached to them in the first place. I just think that's the disassociation of you separating yourself and your feelings from that person. Just because you're no longer, you've separated yourself from them doesn't mean positions in our lives and our eyes are open, I should say it like that. Our eyes are open to their flaws and some of the trickery, you know, because we all, when we meet people, like I cannot represent out first. Some people do to meet you, and then once we get relaxed, you really find out who people are. And so when that facade comes off and you start to shy away from what you initially felt, this is so ordinary. You just see what you looking a little harder if you were looking a little bit deeper.
Most attachments ain't I did a lot of work. I got some ways to go, but it's a process. But Marcia, you hit it perfect. I mean, they're not ordinary. That's where you was right there. They are work in progress.
I feel like a lot of us are delusional.
Yes.
You know, it's not that great of a person, but you want being delusional, you create them and make them to be somebody that they aren't. And when everything is stripped away and you're forced to look at that person for what right. You look at this person for really, it's like trying to fit a square in a circle hole. Like, it's just not you trying to force it to fit. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. I
just realized that with the last relationship I had, I'm like, I had him too high on a pedestal, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's like he wasn't nowhere near that. And then as I grow more spiritually, my eyes are open more. It's like, and if I'm being true to myself, I can't continue to lie about that either, because I'm in my truth. So it's delusion. It's actually great if they can use that energy because they can get there, but they're not there yet. So we got to realize as empaths, we got to find their own greatness. You know, but very original.
I always ask myself when I meet somebody's flawed to sacrifice myself, be with you or accompany you, sacrifice any part of myself or who I am to have is, you know, like you're a very nice person, sacrificing my energy for it, because anybody that's right, they're gonna add to you, they're not gonna pull from you. See what I mean? So these, because I've changed my perspective on how I deal with people, and also people attached to be alone. Mm-hmm. So once I made with myself, being alone, detaching, letting somebody go or pulling away from somebody. I don't care how much I love you. I ask myself in my own emotional, spiritual, or mental health.
This is a real relationship tip.
Be more than that.
Always go with the person that loves you. Don't go with the person you love on your terms, but the person that loves you will go. There's a big difference. The problem is everyone is chasing people. When you always chase the person you love, they're only going to limit their love because they don't love you to the magnitude of what you love them. It's the truth. Most people date people they want. So therefore, the person knows this and they take advantage of it. So understand, always look for the person that loves and you love.
I don't like that. I've been told it a couple times in relationships. Because you love me, but I'm like, okay, but what about you loving me back? I get it. Be with the one that love you. Do you love that person? Or you willing to love that person back? Because it's like it's not balanced. It's one-sided. Because you be in love with you, but what do you want as an individual? It's got to be balanced. You love that person too. Love you.
I don't agree with that. If you want me to go first, I don't view love that way, because I feel he's describing someone that you love. It's almost as if you're placing conditions on it. And you know, that was something too. Like, fall in love with someone that loves you more than you love. Don't go after the person you love. Go for the person you love. I was taught that a long time ago. But if you love somebody, love them. You know what I mean? You love somebody and you will be, and that's where you're comfortable, and they treat you well and you treat them well, and y'all balance each other out, then be there. It's too many, a little bit more because he do more for me versus him because he can't do as much for me over here and see so-and-so because more love is over here. I just feel like as humans, we can how high a vibration love is.
Right.
I mean, it's much bigger. Of course, course, you're going to go with what's best for you, or what fits your soul or your spirit, or, you know, what complements or balances you. But I feel like people put too many stipulations on
as I love them. And I want us to grow in that love as we explore life and relationships with people, and not just love relationships, but our relationships. Like, I want us to grow in that aspect so that we can get to a level that's, you know, unattainable of what I would do for you as well as what you would do for me. Not just me looking at, oh my God, he does this so much more. She does this so much more for me. I want it to be equally yoked. I think that's that yin and that yang, and equally yoked sayings are present for those.
Yeah, it's just, everybody got their perspective, but that was one that I've heard too, and I'm like, it's just, to me, it's just unbalanced. It's not healthy. No
disrespect to what y'all got going on. I ain't good people for so long. Tired, bro. I'm saying, you ain't got nothing left.
You got on there with more. I mean, just the energy of that video
in that podcast. So, but just that little clip that you had, it's exhausting.
And when you know, attract to your life those things. So it's like absolutely saying it's garbage. It's not popular. You know, it's hard, but you got to get in with self and make sure that you got your own cup. When you do attract people to you, they're going to be vibration in the frequency. But just out jumping, not healing, working on you, it's rough on you. That's why I stopped doing it. No, I got to get beat up. You know, the more spiritually, I got to, and it made a difference. Going back to me dating guys, I got different guys. I got different experience, and I noticed the better experiences I got.
I could say that I understood where I'm, because at one point, but I said that those are my experiences now. And that is why, and the reason is because I released any expectation that I had on the people that I'm dating. So basically, the most is that we meet these people, we expect them the way, they don't turn out the way that we expect them to be, and they're disappointed because we expect them way. So these people really what we expect them to be. Type of person, I'm naturally a happy person, so I can find the good in anybody. You can be a terrible, probably party with you and have a good time with you, you know what I mean? But I know well enough not to let you in or to cut you out, you know what I mean? What I've learned over the past few years, now look, it took a lot of therapy, a lot of self-help and read. But what I don't place any expectations on anyone. I expect them exactly who they show me that they are. And if it does not rate with my spirit, I back up. I just recently got into a relationship, the guy I dated before, this great guy, very temperamental. I told him, I said, look, I got PTSD. Please don't yell at me. And every chance he got, yelling to the top of his lungs. So to travel, we had a great time. His anger did not resonate with me. So I chose to detach. You know what I mean? So I can have a good someone anywhere, but it doesn't hurt me expectation.
Perfect issue, expectation. And that's where I am. But it's like, and I got to work on that. I want the other person to not be offended and, you know, get my perspective too. You know, if I cut you off, it's not because I'm ugly, I'm nasty. I'm doing it in love. I'm doing it for help for myself and for you too, because at the end of the day, if we're not, you ain't happy with it either. You know what I'm saying? You just don't have the strength to move on. Like, it's like, you're right. It's, if they not on the level, I got tips that I live in. If I get any kind of red flag, I'm out. Because I don't want to get attached in no kind of way. I ain't trying to figure it out. I ain't trying to, okay, well, see, maybe if I do this, it'll work out. If I get red flags,
we all walking red flags.
I don't think I'm saying it all the way clear. It's not just one, right? Mm-hmm. I get observed, and I get more information, try to figure out. And if it line up, I can't.
I truly believe that some people can tolerate things and other people can, because everybody come with their issues, and there might be some issues that I feel like out sacrificing myself and my mental and emotional. Some people, I'm like, oh, I can't do all that. But then there's somebody over here that can hit red flag to you, might be a flag like else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's up to how you look at it.
That is so. Yeah, I don't give this like a week. I gotta go, but believe me, my eyes is open wide. I'm like, okay, I'm not looking for people to do things wrong. It's just that my pattern. Before, you know, when you dating, before you know, okay, you over because they your kids. Someone tell somebody that's looking real good to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, some people they're worth loving through their flaws.
Yeah,
they really
absolutely.
Are. Yes. You know, some people like me, we need therapy. It's all right.
We all need therapy.
I help y'all living now.
Nothing wrong with some therapy.
Yeah. I met somebody who need through therapy. You know, come on, baby, I'll hug you through therapy.
Have you had your appointment this week?
Right. Let's see what we got next.
When a woman has the power to walk away from a man but he's not loving her back, there's the space that is necessary for her heart to heal. More importantly, when a woman walk away from a man, and you can say to the man, okay, I'm done. Then man, the space needs to gain, because sometimes access breeds blindness where we have access to. Being in New York City building, if you're right front door, you can't see it because you further away you are, it comes into view.
That one again. Did you hear?
Did you hear it? Okay.
I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
More.
I mean, that's profounder. A lot of times when you're all in a situation and you right there in a situation, somebody, they don't always notice, see what to offer. And when you do walk, because most relationships, you always get those, which I didn't realize what I had. It does give them a sense of, that doesn't mean that it's a space for you to have to, because just because you now doesn't mean that you'll continue to realize it, because you just want things that you can't once it's gone. But I mean, I can agree, it does give you some clarity, but sometimes we disconnect because when you don't feel appreciated and that you're offering this being, you feel like you have to go where it does. We do disconnect. And I know, like for me, that cutoff game is, I have put it out and I'm done. Like I can't go back to it. Like, no, I'm a friend for days, but like I'll be a friend for years. But turning to that space where I know you didn't appreciate it then, so giving you chance after chance to keep not appreciating it anymore. Done. See you next lifetime.
So, friend, how is your experience when I can be friends with you all day long? How does that work? How does it look?
Friends with a person, you've been in a relationship with them?
Yes.
You can be friends with a person if you had we can go out, we can have conversations about whatever you got going on in life, but the intimacy level, stuff with sleeping, that has to completely stop, because that does nothing but fog your brain. Like I said, if you don't have anyone else in situations where you need to talk and work through some things, that if we've had a relationship, we can continue that relationship. But I can't involve myself to you where you take my time and my process to explore options, because sometimes they pull you back, you won't be back out there, so else can have access to you. Tricking that you play, but if you are self-aware, what type of relationship you plan to have with this person, then you can say friendship. We can kiki all day long. We can conversation and jokes and funny stories that we've been ready to and been in space time with, but that doesn't mean I have occupied my time and space and activities away from other things and people. I'm having fun and I'm exploring new opportunities to occupy when you didn't do that for me. It's a self-serving purpose.
Yeah, I'm still friends with my soldier, and it's nothing that we just cool. I see we're like best friends. We just over here chatting and girlfriend. It just takes a certain amount of maturity, but if you're truly some friend, that can remain whether y'all, touch that man in 5-6 years, and we're still, I can separate the two. Attachment.
I don't have a problem. Me and my ex-husband, he'll call me. He called me the other day. I say hi and stuff like that. We ain't friends, nothing like that. But I wouldn't care to be. But I think I was too nice or whatever. But I haven't had other success with this just being friend. I wouldn't mind it, but I haven't had this line get blue. So
keep it clear. Been very clear on no further. But in regards to the video, I just wanted to make a comment. Sometimes always tell me I'm gonna choose me every time. So sometimes walking away from somebody, you love yourself more by also you love them by walking away, because you create these unhealthy attachments with you as a way of not their own personal issues. So sometimes you break away from them, forces them to look at themselves. And I just know that because it happened to me. I had to look at myself. Somebody walked, I had to look at myself.
Wow.
So sometimes stepping away or walking away from somebody is definitely an act of love.
Absolutely. I did that this year. Self-love, it's like I only have to grow. You got to grow. It's a process, because I love that person a lot. It's like learn to love, so I gotta go. I entertain was not healthy for me. You're right. It's definitely an act of self-love.